Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM eCast for your Monday night. We're back here tonight with the finale of Season 2 2021 ANZCAR Truck Series. And with me tonight, as always, is Carl with you. Carl, welcome to another week. Good evening.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody. Yes, we are here at Phoenix Raceway. It's going to be a fast, furious one tonight. The championship is close between the guys up the top, but it's going to be a race of attrition. I reckon Phoenix can be one of those tracks where accidents can happen easily. You've just got to try and avoid them the best you can.
And do we have an update on points yet, or are we keeping that one to ourselves?
We are keeping that one to ourselves with the drop round information, because that will get published once we go completely official. But we do have a very rough idea, but I won't go into all of that. I will, however, go through the points as they stand. So this is prior to the drop round coming into effect. So Foster still leads by 17 points. 25 points down is Josh Mickelmore. We have Nathan Clark in fourth position, 105 points down. It's very close from fourth place down to around about 11th place, in all honesty. Then it's Maddie Raymond, Norman Clark, Christopher Finlay, Gary Wellman, Aidan Schultz in 9th, Cade Donnelly in 10th, Jaden Russell in 11th, Stephen William in joint 11th. So really, with that group there is a chance that those guys could go absolutely hurtling up the positions come the drop rounds. So there's a lot to play in that midfield area. Up the top, there's not going to be much between Foster, Martin and Mickelmore. I was just looking at a bit of an interesting stat before we started the broadcast tonight, just looking at average finishes for this season. And so far, Foster has had an average finish of around about 4th position, while Jason Martin's had an average finish of around about 7th. So interesting little stats there, but Jason Martin started 4th, Edward Foster's finished around about 7th. So interesting little stats, and if those play out similar, then it could be good for Foster. He needs to have a good night tonight. Preferably a win would be great for him.
Well, it sounds like there's plenty to play for still, so obviously the result tonight is going to be critical. You can see there just about 10 minutes to go in practice here. We've got Andrew Dyson currently fastest with Jason Martin in 2nd, and we also have got Michael Skurlock for 3rd. And off we go to finish out this practice season. So I should say the practice in the final race of the season. As Gary Wellman there just testing the Mitch Motorsport guys get involved as well. There's a big crash coming on here, but there's a couple of drivers there just testing how the track is handling there. We've got Matt Danson who's jumped on to the chat here and just asked Carl, what is the stat for the most career ANZCAR truck wins? That's an interesting question. Might get you to have a look into that if you've got access to the data.
Yeah, you see, that's the kind of data that I don't have huge amounts of access to. I could have a bit of a look-see with that one. You'll have to bear with me, though, with that one. That will be a later thing. And how are you going, Mr. Danson? It's good to see you out and about.
So the lap time here, 27.91 as it stands with Andrew Dyson. He'll be keen to get an oval track win here tonight. He self-professed very, very strong, obviously, on the circuit racing stuff that we get through here, and we will see some of that later in the week. But Dyson's been working pretty hard on improving his oval track performance, and says he learnt a lot this season. So it'd be a good one for him to finish out the season with a win.
Yeah, he'll be hoping to get one, and looking to try and get a win on another oval as well. This is a kind of oval that's going to actually be kind of good for Dyson as well. He is very quick on these sort of slightly shorter tracks, almost where you need to actually have that little bit more braking and accelerating balance for it, sort of similar to road racing in that respect.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very similar to road racing, where there is some brake technique involved in getting around here quickly, and we did see that with him when he did take out, I think, his maiden truck win as well. So well represented. But of course, as we've been talking, Josh Mickelmore, who has been hitting just about everything in P1 at the moment, has jumped up into the lead with a 27.89. So fastest on track by 1/1000th at the moment. So it's going to be a tight run race here. Qualifying is going to be so important tonight. if you get caught back in the mid-pack, there's every chance that you're going to get involved in someone else's incident and get taken out of the race. So those championship contenders that you're talking about, Ed Foster, will definitely want to make sure that they qualify towards the front of this field tonight. So they're in control of their own destiny to a certain extent. Let's have a very quick look at the weather here tonight as well, and just see what we're expecting. So 42-degree track temperature, extremely hot. It's going to be very punishing on tyres, so grip is going to be at a premium. So the guys will be wanting to manage that as best they can. Can't see us having long, sustained green periods here early in the race. We've got 35 on track, and that is going to mean that there's plenty of what we're seeing at the moment with Dwayne Priest there just going around on the front straight.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that can be very tricky. I mean, you do get a little bit of tyre wear here, and the dogleg is one of those areas that can catch you out a little bit as well. Obviously, it's the open dogleg, so you can actually cut your way across it. You'll see the cars, trucks I should say, cutting their way across that sort of infield area, across that dogleg there, as you just see in that shot. They're not going to use that whole track section there. So it's almost like that corner doesn't exist in this layout. So it makes things a very interesting little track to run on. And obviously very easy to lose the rear as well. It's one of those tracks where it's very easy to tag the barriers, and when you do, you're going to have a bad time.
Well, most of our drivers will be looking to not do that. We've got a couple of new runners tonight as well. Marco Hansen jumps in for a run tonight. Andrew Wilton comes back as well. Nathan Rawlock, haven't seen him for a little while. He's back in as well. I think he missed last week. And in addition to that, I did catch another name up the top here, Jackson Callow. Do you know much about him, Carl?
Yeah, Jackson is he doesn't get to race too much these days, a little bit busy with other things, other commitments, unfortunately, but he is very, very quick. He is one of those drivers that is incredibly quick out there, so watch out for Callow. Sometimes we'll sort of start a little bit further down the field and try and run his way up there, so we'll see how that one works out. But Callow is very, very quick, and on his night is probably one of the quicker drivers out there.
We're certainly proving it so far, sitting in P6 in practice at the moment. Trev Micklemore, welcome to the stream. Thanks for your support throughout this season. Jumping in, 31 needs the win. Talking, of course, of Josh Micklemore. Edward and Martin need a DNF for Josh to take out the series. I think if Martin or Foster wins, the series is theirs, question mark. We haven't revealed the drop round scores yet, Trev, but the best way to guarantee, if he can, a season win here for Josh is to take out the W, and he's been reasonably successful with that over the last few weeks. So his teammate Jason Martin has just gone fastest in practice at 27.8. So he's up by a tenth, which is a big gap here at this track. So he's going to have to work a little bit tonight, and hopefully he and Jason can race, as we've seen throughout this season, to a successful finish.
Yeah, they'll want to get a good. They'll need to have a good night tonight. That's the thing. It's going to be a winner-takes-all situation. It feels like it is very close up the top, but Josh Micklemore is the outsider at the moment. He has just needs to have misfortune for his two competitors and to have the perfect race for himself. And that can be hard sometimes. Obviously, you don't want to win a championship that way, but it's sometimes it happens, and you just go, well, that's how it happened, especially if you're not involved in said incident. These things do happen, but I think those guys are going to be very careful out there tonight, just playing the game rather than pushing too hard.
Yeah, of course, there's always that balance of risk and reward between the drivers. We spoke about it earlier in the season. Steve Williams, current champion until this evening, he took out the title last season ahead of Luke Trahair. Now, Trahair had the most wins last season and still came home in second place because he just had that consistency. And I mean, that's what we've seen from Edward Foster this season. He's been nice and consistent in finishing inside that top 10, and that's what's rewarded him with this position where he's able to challenge for the title at the end of the season. Whereas, we've seen Jason Martin take out a couple of wins, but have his race affected, or his race to the flag affected by a couple of results. So it just proves that consistency can get you there as well. So the guys will be thinking about that when they're running around tonight, as Ed Foster just jumps up into second now. He's done a 27.87, so a couple of guys starting to go quicker here towards the end of this session. We've got 2 minutes 45 to go here in the last practice session of Season 2 2021. And, of course, there will be a Season 3 to follow on from this one. We're just waiting on the announcement of the calendar there. We take a couple of weeks break before that gets underway in a few weeks' time, Carl.
Yep, and nice time to take a little bit of a break and get a couple of nights off and have a bit of a breather and a refresh before the new season. And I'm sure all the drivers will be happy to have an extra night off in the week to practice and probably drive something else, because they don't like sitting around not doing anything.
No, absolutely not. So there's plenty on iRacing, of course, for them to get their teeth sunk into. So the guys will be looking to do that. Maybe some official stuff. Maybe a bit of fixed racing. And of course, there's plenty of other leagues going around as things continue to grow in the Australian iRacing Oval Track League. So there'll be plenty for them to do, but we will be back after this one. So we've got final round here tonight as Luke Trahair there just ducks down on the inside in still, I reckon, the best liveried car out on track. And Carl, I can never remember who you say. You seem to manage to remember often who it was who does his livery, but whoever it is, they've done a fantastic job on that car. Look at that there. And Luke involved in some stuff to do with MMA, which is the Way Down podcast that he's talking about there. So do give his Facebook page a follow if you're into mixed martial arts. He covers everything there that you need to know. So jump across onto his Facebook page and give that one a follow, as he currently sits down in 10th position. I was hoping, Carl, that there'd be a couple of drivers on track who moved teams during the week, but neither Aidan Schultz nor Ruben Phelps out on track at the moment. They've created a new race team at the end of this season. I believe it was ANZAC Esports they went with as a name for that one. So jumping out of Crank Esports there and launching their own team together.
Yeah, I saw Ruben around a little bit earlier, and I thought I saw Aidan Schultz as well, but I think they're finalising some paints for the trucks. I don't think they finalised those yet, but they've got the new paint job for the Cup cars, I believe, so they'll be debuting them come Watkins Glen. That's the one I was looking for. So that's it. My brain actually switched on there for a moment. That's always a good start to the night of broadcasting.
I wonder what that smell was, and they'll do that there. That's going to be an interesting race at Watkins Glen. That's on Thursday night from 8 p.m. here on FGM cars. So if you're looking for some of the left and right action, that'll be coming to you in the Cup cars. That's going to be one heck of a race with how strong the DPR team are there as well. So looking forward to that one. That concludes practice. We're going to get into qualifying here. If it is the first time you've joined us, open qualifying is not a thing here. So it is single cars, 2 laps. They get the best of those 2 laps will set their qualifying position for this race. It's going to be extremely important for them to make sure they get up the front here. And with that in mind, we're actually going to jump on board with... we'll give Andrew Dyson a little bit of love tonight. We haven't jumped on with Dyso for a little bit, and we'll get him to take us on a couple of hot laps around this track, Carl.
Yeah, the tricky Phoenix Raceway coming onto the straight here. You can see it's very narrow track here coming into the first corner, lifting off, dropping it onto the brakes a little bit, get the car turned in, get the car nice and low here so you can get a good exit. Watch out, there's a bump on the exit that can fling you up into the wall. You're going to drop down straight across this the dog leg there. Just ignore that, that's not even a corner. Into the next turn. Now this one you can just ease off a little bit. You don't have to brake as hard. You can just go through there a little bit easier. Just let the car roll through there. A little dab of the brake, get on the accelerator nice and late and not hitting the wall because it does jut out a little bit. So it is a tricky track to master. The first corner is always the trickiest. It's a much tighter radius. The dogleg can catch you out when you go through it as well, because it does unsettle the car a little bit. So sometimes you'll see drivers take that slightly longer route just because it's a little bit, the car just feels a little bit more settled when you go through that. And then the final corner is, generally it's just easing off the accelerator and just a little dab of the brake just to get through there. And that's a lap of Phoenix.
Just jumped on the end there with Ed Foster. Daiso deciding to pull out of that lap. And Ed was in a similar position on track, so just jumped on there to complete that one as Ed actually goes up into provisional pole position with a 27.92. Just looking down through the list here, Nathan Rawlock, he's about to begin his run around, so we'll have a look here at Nathan and see how he gets on with his flying laps.
So just to answer a question earlier, unsurprisingly, I'm sure for the person that answered it, it is actually one Mr. Danson that holds the truck win record of 20 wins, but catching up to him is Jason Martin on 18. So if Martin gets a win tonight, he is going to be very close to dethroning Mr. Danson, so that will make him happy.
I had figured that there might have been a little bit of... I don't know how to describe it, but I thought there might have been some self-interest in the question when it was asked, but because it's not the sort of stat that you get on the stream very often. But there you go, Matt Danton, currently the most race wins in ANZCAR truck, but Jason Martin closing in on him and potentially moving into that position himself. So we've got... not too long to go here, 2 minutes left. Ryan Jones is out on track. Jason Martin equally. Josh Micklemore yet to put in a flying lap. Let's jump on board. He's about to finish his first flyer. Seems that most of the guys have run a quick first flyer actually here. Haven't managed to improve on it in the second one. That lap there not counting for Micklemore, so potentially a touch of the wall or the like has taken that one out of consideration.
Yeah, that's not what he needs tonight. He's had a little bit of bad luck with qualifying lately. We saw last time out with Micklemore, you know, he's had some pretty poor qualifying results, which is never fun, and just having to start far down from the pack is not something he'll need tonight. He'll want to jump up a little bit higher. Whereabouts does he jump up to? Right to the top.
just pole position.
That is what he will have want to have seen, so that worked out perfectly there for Micklemore.
Yeah, absolutely, and a good lap as well, over a tenth faster than Edward Foster. Jason Martin, teammate, just casually shifts up onto the front row with him. It will be a Mitch Motorsport 1-2 at this point in time. There's still a few to get out. Riley Curtis, Matty Raymond as well, so they've still got laps to run. But based on practice times at the moment, you would figure that it is going to be another Mitch Motorsport lockout on the front row here. And Edward Foster's going to have to work his way past Martin and Micklemore to get up to take the win here tonight so far.
Yeah, and you've got to say it might be... I imagine the Mitch boys will be racing. They'll be trying their best. Let's watch out. Is that Hello on his first lap, or is he just out there? No,
he's just finished his second lap there, so just thought he might catch me out, make me look a fool. But he was on his second lap, so just not able to improve there. So yeah, certainly that first lap with the track temperature, the quicker for the drivers. So looks like everyone's just about finished. We've only got 6 seconds left here in qualifying, so that is going to be all she wrote. So we'll just wait for the session to tick over here. We'll bring the grid up on the screen, let you know who is where. There's 35 starters here tonight. It is going to be a full grid for us. So let's have a look at it. As Riley Curtis jumps into the chat and said he holds the record at 3. Riley, you got a little bit of work to do there, mate, including jumping into your truck so you can get into the race. Let's run through it here for the final round of the ANZCAR Truck Series on FGM eCast, and it is Josh Micklemore taking out the final pole position with Jason Martin next to him on the front row, then Edward Foster and Andrew Dyson off row 2 with Ryan Jones and Michael Skirley. We didn't speak much about Skirley off row 3. Good performance from him. Jason Callow, Mirko Dortnack off row 4. Good qualifying for Mirko as well. And Luke Trahair, Nathan Clark in row 5. Steve Williams, Dwayne Priest off row 6 as we flip over the page here and have a look at Kate Donnelly and Lachlan Urquhart off 7 with Aaron Dillon. Troy Davison off 8. Then it's Christopher Finlay and Aaron Wilton off row 9 with Aidan Schultz and Nathan Rawlock off row 10. Then it's Todd Maxfield and Nigel Patton off 11 with Norm Clark and Gary Wellman off row 12. As we shift over to the last page there, it is Mark Johansson and Ben Vickers off 13 with Igor Burkic and Ruben Phelps off 14, followed by Matty Ray, Mr. Sheen and Brent Hobbs off row 15 with Tristan Koch, Justin Howe off 16, Riley Curtis, Noddy Tompkins off 17, and it is Philip Howe rounding out the back of our 35 starters here tonight for the final round of the ANZCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race tonight. I feel we're going to see some special stuff out there tonight. Hopefully we don't see too many accidents. We get to see a lot of green flag racing. That's going to be the key factor for tonight. Of course, there are lots of fast drivers up there. You can't discount Dyson, Jones, Skurlock, Callow. You know, all those guys up there are going to be very, very quick. So watch out for those guys. And I think Riley Curtis is going to be starting down towards the back, just choosing not to qualify. So he is... he's going to be looking at making a good run through the field, as he often likes to do. He often likes to, you know, get his way up the field and try and get the most positions gained, but he's going to have to battle it out with Matty Ray, and we've seen Matty Raymond doing some good jobs through the season with that.
Riley Curtis just dropping into the chat from pit lane. Just wanting to know what livery he's got on his car. There you are, Riley. The Toyota Tyres livery, so I don't know if that's current or not. We did the usual refresh on trading paints tonight, but sometimes it is our enemy, so still rocking that Toyota Tyres livery on the 93. Good tactic to get yourself onto the stream, Riley, jumping into the chat while you're driving. And if you want to do it mid-race, mate, and let us know, the stewards probably won't look that favourably upon it, but we'd thank you for your input.
Look, there's nothing wrong with texting and driving.
No, nothing at all.
As we go green, you see Josh Rickmore get a really good start there. He jumps away. Jason Martin getting down into second place, blocking it down. You can see there Andrew Dyson on the outside of Foster. Foster's going to keep that low line, try his best to get there. He's going to keep that third position, hold it for as long as possible. You can see a little bit further back, Ryan Jones working his way up there.
No surprise there that Ryan Jones made an aggressive start. That's his style. He'll get that done. He'll be looking for a caution period to help him out with that throughout the race, but it is a Mitch 1-2 followed by Edward Foster, and you can see there that Andrew Dyson as well is underneath. Skirley's managed to make his way down to the inside there to put pressure on Dyson. It looked like Callow was on the outside there at the back. No, it is Callow who's now made his way under Michael Skurlock, so a few moves early here at the front of the pack. Even see there that I think that was Nathan Clark just trying to slot himself up into the higher line there and make his way around. He's doing a good job there, just in front of Luke Trahere, giving Trahere a little bit to think about. So let's just switch back here. And is Nathan Clark, who's on the outside there. So just keep an eye back throughout the pack here and see how things are going. Trahere, they're just down on the apron, making sure that he minimises time on track.
They're trying their best. It's a good race right at the moment between Jones and Dyson. Dyson just getting caught on the outside at the moment. Jones pushing a little bit high. These two are going to get very close coming into the first corner. Who's going to blink? I think it's going to be Dyson. Just eases out a little bit there. That's going to give Callow a little bit of a run on Dyson. Will he be able to make the move? Will we see this one happen?
Impressive start there from Ryan Jones. He's already up one place, and you've got there Matty Dancer just saying how much he's come on with pace. He's been very, very quick all season when he has been able to run, so he likes to be the aggressor, and he's showing it again here tonight. He's all over the back of Edward Foster. These two have had plenty of battles this season, so Ed will be aware that Ryan's there, and Ryan will certainly put the pressure on to the back of the 53 Natari Autosport entry. As he makes a move down the inside now, trying to get up into third position. Not quite there for him. He'll have to slot him behind Foster here again. As Foster gets a little loose on the exit, but still not quite far enough for Jones to make a play. Dyson's back on the back of him, and you've got Callow as well. Callow's under pressure from Michael Skurlock, who's just going to be jogging on the spot. Been impressed with Skurlock's driving of late. He's been managing his races really well, so he'll be very aware of where he is currently in this race. Now the strategy in mind is Jones makes a move down the inside again. Just not quite able to get it done, but he's going to keep more pressure here on the exit. And there'll be a drag race down the front straight here between Jones and Foster. Foster just manages to close it out. So we'll just stick here for a minute.
With Jones taking that slightly tighter line through those final couple of corners, turns 3 and 4, that can scrub a little bit of speed off and put a little bit more pressure on the tyres. Foster taking that slightly wider line, a little bit easier on the tyres in that respect. So we often see it with Ryan. He does tend to use up tyres a little bit quicker. He's a bit more aggressive on the old tyre strategy than some. And he knows that, and everybody else knows that as well. But he has been getting better at tyre management, and that is a dangerous thing to have with Ryan, because once he gets that tyre management absolutely perfect, he is going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely, he will be. So he makes no excuses for it. So once he does get that done, he will, and he gets the move here. He's going to close this out against Foster and move himself up into third position and try and chase down Mickelmore and Jones at the lead. Mickelmore and Martin, my apologies, at the lead of this race. You can see a small gap just developing there, but Jonesy now will be looking to move up on that and put Martin under pressure.
Yeah, and this is something Foster's going to want to see, is Martin getting put under pressure by Jones a little bit here, just so Martin doesn't get a gap to him. He wants to see Martin just keeping relatively close to himself. They want to try and keep together, so championship standings keep very close. Just behind him you can see Dyson and Callow getting very close. Callow right up against the wall, just rubbing it there, just using that air cushion to his advantage. Very nice bit of driving there, side by side into the first set of corners. You've got you've got Callow on the outside, Dyson on the inside. They're going to come across the dogleg now. This is going to give Dyson a slight advantage coming into that corner. He's just got to make sure he doesn't lose the back end and go up into Callow. He's taken a slightly wider entry there, forcing Callow a little bit high. It's going to give Dyson a little bit of an earlier exit here, but Callow's going to get a bit of a better run here. So Dyson's going to have the inside now. How's this going to work out? Callow's going to have to sit on that outside now. He's going to have to try and defend. Looks like Dyson's got it, and we've got a caution.
Yeah, it looks like Igor Burkic there involved in an incident. So I'll jump back and have a quick look at that one. Probably not far enough in yet for anyone to take any advantage. Maybe get some, say, 11 laps in. Might jump in for a quick splash and dash, but very, very clean start to this one. Let's jump back and have a look at what happened to Igor Burkic to bring out this first caution.
So once we go back to it, you can see just a little bit earlier there, Noddy Tompkins just running up. He's just washed out a little bit and lost the front end and gone into the back of the Eagle. Eagle's gone spinning round and unable to get the truck stopped. He's held the brakes, but unfortunately, I think that was Tristan Koch, had nowhere to go in that situation. Burkic did the right thing holding the brakes on there, but Koch was just sort of a little bit unlucky where that truck ended up. He couldn't really get out of the way to sort of avoid that action. We might see a few people pondering coming in for tyres. A few feints, maybe. And here we go. And who got caught out there? Somebody did.
Jackson Callow headed into pit lane. I'll tell you what, there was almost a chance there that I think it was going to be Ryan Jones. Almost got blocked in to going into pit lane. So with Martin on the outside there, that would have been something to talk about. Wouldn't have been all that favourable from Ryan Jones if that had happened.
Well, I mean, it would have worked out well for the rest of the field. You know, blocking your rivals so they can't get out of pit lane. I mean, we've not seen that one this year, but definitely a valid tactic, I'd say. You could use that to your advantage. I didn't know you were not going into pit lane. I thought you were pitting, so I just decided to sit my car here, right in this position. You know,
it's just saving fuel.
Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to take the shortest track. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, probably not quite late enough for Jonesy to jump in, grab a new set of boots. So he would have been hoping for this to happen probably in about another 15 or 20 laps time. But not to be. So this will let him cycle. And then he'll be right on the back of the Mitch Motorsport boys, who've, to be fair, been extremely strong at restarts in this tail end of the season, particularly with Jason Martin and his efforts in getting away, and obviously Josh Mickelmore. They're able to coordinate that to an extent, but yeah, they've done really well on the restart. So expect that here. Jones is going to have to be on it if he's going to get away with them. Same with Foster. Minimise that wheel spin. Make sure they get the drive so they can try and keep up here on the restart.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with the old countdown, of course, you know, and that's one of the good things you can do with teammates, is you can communicate with each other in, you know, your own team radios, your own team areas, and let each other know what's going on with everything. So that makes things, you know, a little bit easier, a little bit less stressful. But when you've got a fast charger like Ryan Jones behind you, you've got to be on your game because he might take a punt. He might decide, I'm going to actually make a bit of a move here. I know that you two are going to count it down. I am going to listen to your revs and then try and match you at the exact time, see what he can do.
So we'll form you up here. We'll go around one more time. Carl, do you want to explain for anyone joining us for the first time, what are the rules on the restart here? Where can you go, high, low, and who controls the start?
So the leader controls the start, so once the pace car comes in on this lap, Josh Micklemore effectively becomes that pace truck. Then it is his prerogative where he goes. So he is the one that goes. So if when the green flag comes out, that's not when you drop the hammer. You drop the hammer when the leader does. So you follow the leader effectively. So when Josh Micklemore drops the hammer, that's when you can go. Now, you're not allowed to change lanes, so you've got to stay in the lane you're in. So effectively, if you're on the high lane, you've got to stay at that high lane, low lane, until you cross the start-finish line. So there's no passing until you cross that start-finish line in that respect. So what we'll see here is that pace truck going to be coming in very shortly. Josh Micklemore will choose his point. He'll probably wait until... Well, he doesn't wait at all. He just goes immediately. So he's away like a scolded cat there. Catches Jason Martin out a little bit. That's going to give Foster a good run there as well. Foster got a nice little bit of a run with Jones there. So effectively, yeah, you just got to keep in your lane and keep behind the person in front of you until you cross that start-finish line, and then you just go for whatever you want to do. Preferably not crashing.
Preferably not, and so far so good in that stakes. Foster here putting pressure on Jones, who did take that position before the caution came out. So Foster here just running on his rear quarter at the moment as they get onto the straight. He's going to have to work hard here. It looks like Foster just not quite able to close that out.
So he's just got wide here. He's going to lose a lot of pace, so he might even lose a position to Dyson. He's going to lose a lot of speed there. Dyson's going to get a little bit of a run here. That's going to give Jones the opportunity to get away a little bit. You see Dyson taking that high line. He's just using that to his advantage. He's going to try and do the up and under here, try and get underneath Foster on the exit. Might not have enough pace at the moment to do it, but he's going to try anyway. We've seen that a few times from Andrew Dyson, and he is definitely one of those drivers that likes to have that little bit of aggression in there. And just a bit further back, there's a good little battle between Stephen Williams and Mirko Dortnak as well. And we've got trucks 3-4 wide further back from there. There is some fantastic racing going on all through the grid at the moment. Just keeping an eye on things as we go.
Yeah, there's a little gap developing between the leaders, and you can see there, as you're talking about that pack down the back there, I think we've got Norm Clark and Nathan Rawlock there, and one of the Sim boys, I think I picked the number, yeah, the 104 there as well, Christopher Finlay. So they're now 3 wide on the exit of the corner. Good racing right throughout the field here.
One to watch out for is Jackson Callow. He dropped down to pretty much the back of the grid when he took those tyres, so he dropped down a fair few positions. He's already making his way up the field. He is currently sitting in P15, so a few people did come in for fresh tyres. Those on fresh tyres definitely showing a little bit more pace than the rest around them, so those fresh tyres looking like a good choice at the moment. Of course, all it takes is one wreck in the midfield, and then it does not look like such a great chance.
Yeah, they want a good strong period here where they'll be able to extract the value out of that strategic decision. So we'll see how that plays out. We are on board at the moment with, or following with, Jackson Callow, just watching his progress through the field as he tries to get a move done now. I think that's under Dwayne Priest, and looks like he's going to close that one out and then make his way up onto the back of Aidan Schultz. So he's making quick work of it. That's what you want as well when you get those fresh boots on. You don't want to be wasting time battling with cars on old or rubber. You just want to progress your way through and get a full advantage out of that fresh compound. And he's doing just that here as Callow now.
Oh, we've got a crash in the background. We've got Nigel Patton. Big accident down the back. Looks like Patton's just lost the rear end a little bit. I think that might be Riley Curtis that got caught up in that as well. So a fair few cars just got caught up in that huge accident there, unfortunately. So looks like Patton's just lost the rear end and then gone down into Wellman, unfortunately. Wellman's been flung up into Riley Curtis. And yeah, that's 3 trucks that are not going to be coming back from that accident, I think.
Yeah, Gary Wellman there just getting down into the wall. So looks like his night is going to be over a little bit prematurely, and that's disappointing for Wellman, who's had a win in this series this season, so he'll be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Riley Curtis, just the innocent passenger in that one, he just got absolutely shreked with that one, so that was a very unfortunate position for him. And yeah, very, very sad moment for him. Now, are they all coming into pit lane? They are doing the dummies. No, they are not. We've got Martin and Foster coming into pit lane, so the dummies were thrown and they decided, no, we're still going to take this opportunity. So Foster following Martin into pit lane, Josh Mickelmore sticking in out there with Ryan Jones, Andrew Dyson, Michael Skurlock and Nathan Clark. So pretty much all the field in bar those guys. They are going to suffer on the restart now.
It's an interesting move from Jackson Callow. He's jumped back into pit lane. He was only on those tyres for 10 or so laps. Not even that. He's just missed his pit box as well. This will be for fuel. No, he's going to get rubber as well. So interesting decision. Restricted tyre sets here tonight, Carl?
No, they have got as many as they want.
So might as well.
So you might as well chuck them on when you can because, yeah, it is all for it. So that's look, that's not a bad thing to do because the rest of the guys will be on fresh tyres as well. You're going to lose that advantage you had with those 10 lap hole tyres, and that's gonna cause you to struggle a little bit. So, you know, it's gonna shake things up, and it's gonna make things very hard for those guys that stayed out.
Yeah, well, Martin and Foster, of course, did jump in. Mirko Dortnak did too. So they've benefited from it, and it really hasn't cost Jackson Callow anything. He's come back out in P15. I believe he was at P13 when he jumped into pit lane. So fresh tyres, good progress for him, albeit obviously be a little bit disappointed didn't run green for longer.
Yeah, so it would have helped him out a lot more if there was about 10 or 15 more laps of green flag racing there, I reckon. So a bit of a shame on that one. And yeah, that sort of, it's cost his strategy a little bit, but it's evened the playing fields up. So we'll soon see how that goes.
Absolutely, we will. And it's a good time to thank everyone for joining us on the stream tonight. We enjoy having you all along for the ride. As I said, this is the season finale, Season 2, 2021 of the ANZCAR Truck Series on FGM eCast, and we certainly appreciate you all jumping on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, wherever you're watching from, and supporting our stream. If you are there, give the like button a push, or the subscribe button a push as well if you can. It certainly helps us with our channel growth, and we've seen a fair bit of that over this year, so we appreciate all the support that you have given us.
Yeah, it helps out an enormous amount, so we always do appreciate that. And if you can, give a little like and subscribe, and let anyone else know as well that enjoys this kind of thing. It always helps out for the future.
Akin to giving your mum a wave.
All of those things. We are happy for things like that to happen.
So Ryan Jones here, he'll be looking to get a good restart here with Josh Mickelmore. They've got to minimise the wheel spin. They're going to have a hungry pack on fresh tyres right behind them. Mickelmore holding things up this time, deciding to leave it till the straight, which I think is a good decision. And he drops the hammer now and goes. Ryan Jones caught a little bit napping there. He's got Skurlock all over the back of him, as well as Dyson, who both got a good start. Skurlock will be a little bit frustrated there, a little bit held up by Jones, who just missed the start, but Jones now gets away to it. He's in pursuit of Josh Mickelmore, and there is those fast runners coming through. You can see Jason Munn already up behind Andrew Dyson, as we've got a spin in the background. Will it bring out the caution? It will not, so we are still green. Good catch there. I didn't see who that was on the outside. It may have been Aiden Schultz. Yes, it was Aiden Schultz, as Martin moves up another position. He's behind Michael Skurlock, and Dyson in third now. Foster's struggling on the restart, even with those fresh tyres.
Yeah, because you've got to get warmth into the tyres a little bit with the restart, so that's one of the downside of fresh tyres. But as soon as you get that temperature in there and they kick in, then you start absolutely flying. I'm pretty sure we'll see that we'll see that in about 1 or 2 laps. At the moment, Skurlock trying to keep up there. Oh, there's a check up behind Skurly. You can see there, Luke Traher gets caught in that one, and Berko Dortnack. That's going to give a little bit of breathing room to Foster at the moment, Foster and Martin. Dyson doing a good job of just holding out. Of course, the tyres do plateau a little bit as well, so they're going to want to try and make these moves quickly, try and use these tyres up quite quickly before they get to a stage where they don't really give the same amount of performance. So we'll see how this one pans out, and it'll give us a bit of an idea on how it goes for the rest of the night. But it does look like Martin and Foster are just able to run a little bit of a lower line at the moment. Martin going for the move on Dyson at the moment as another caution's out. Big accident as I think that might have been Jackson Callow in the air. I saw huge accident for him. He's just gone flying into space. Not sure exactly what happened with that one. He's just lost the back end and had a big tank slapper. Aaron Dillon got caught up. Then Troy Davidson into him, and that's just flung Callow into the air there. He's gone for a massive spin. Quite a bit of damage to that truck, and I think the engine is kaput, unfortunately. That is going to be a night over there.
Yeah, not generally made for flying through the air, so that one there will make a good clip for us for later on, but not all that impressive for Jackson Callow, who will be out of the race, unfortunately, tonight. You can see there the smoke billowing out of the back of the 46, so I'd say it's going to be night over for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, doing his best helicopter impression. Unfortunately, these trucks do not respond well to that, so that's going to really hurt him. So we've got cars coming into pit lane right now. Lachlan Urquio, Michael Skurlock, Nathan Clark, Brent Hobbs, and Aidan Schultz, I believe. So those guys coming in right now. So they could be looking... If it remains green for the rest of the race, they could be looking to try something a little bit cheeky here.
Just dragged Riley Curtis up. Good evening, Riley. You've been off in the infield care centre visiting Sheila tonight. She's patched you up, mate, but you're out of the race.
Yeah, she's a pretty top bird, old Sheila. She's got us all sorted out. But it is what it is tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're just the innocent victim. Not nowhere that you could go, nothing you could do, and that ending the night for you and concluding your season.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where a car will often spin to the inside and there's a wall there, so they bounce back, and especially when two of them make contact, there's nowhere you can go, but it is what it is. No huge loss for that last race.
And just quickly, the new skin on the car, new paint scheme, what do we miss out on there?
I was hoping it'd work. It didn't load, but we'll have to leave it for Thursday. It's on the Cup car too.
Oh, all right, well.
Something a little bit different for me anyway.
Very humble of you, Riley.
Mate, got to stay humble and hustle hard.
We'll look forward to that on Thursday night. Tune in. It could be an exclusive here on FGMA Cast. The new Riley Curtis 93 livery, and you'll see that exclusively on FGMA Cast on Thursday night. Thank you, Riley. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and as always, thanks for jumping in the stream and commenting. We appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Cheers for dragging me up for a chat.
No, anytime. So, Carl, where are we at from here? What's the strategy? We're a quarter of the way through the race. We've got the lead drivers, Jones, I should say, Mickelmore and Dyson, who have not jumped into the pit lane yet. Where are they at?
Well, they are going to be waiting until they're going to be waiting until sort of half distance. They're going to be trying to go sort of halfway through the race. I'd say if we get a caution in the next 10 to 20 laps, that's when they're going to pull the plug. They're going to come in. If it remains green for the rest of the race, and I say if, with a big if on that one, because it is Phoenix and we know this place is tricky, but we have seen things like that happen in the past. They'll be looking at coming in around about I'd probably say around about lap 65 to 70, sort of around that sort of area. So they're just going to try and stick it out there as long as they can now. I think we'll see those guys on the fresher tyres get a little bit of a better run now. They've got their heat cycles through them, and they'll probably be looking good. The big problem now for Micklemore, Jones and Dyson is just getting away cleanly. Although they've only done 30 odd laps on these tyres, and those boys have got some experience as they do get away very cleanly. It just gets a little bit slippery on the restart sometimes on the older tyres, and it's very easy to get a little bit of wheel spin with them. So they get a really nice restart there. You can see Foster already putting pressure on Dyson, trying to get low at the moment. Dyson keeping that low line blocked, and he's going to try and get underneath Jones as it stands. So Foster and Jones at the moment, you can see Martin getting pushed wide there. Martin stuck behind Jones at the moment. Micklemore got a very good leap away once again. Good restart by Josh Micklemore. He's just launching it on the exit of that corner every time. Ryan Jones coming down to defend from Foster. Foster not taking it. He actually makes that dive bomb just as the caution comes out.
Yeah, really good move there. So it'll keep that position. Looks like Lachlan Urquio involved in an incident, and cautions breeding cautions here tonight. Let's jump back and have a look.
So looks like the 99 of Mark Johansson's gone up into the wall, and then there's just been a sort of a double moment between Lockie and Nathan Clark. They both lost the rear ends going through that corner, and Lockie didn't catch it, Nathan did. So they both got a tank slapper there, and unfortunately Lockie couldn't quite catch it in time. So he just missed out on that one, and then just clipped the 99, I think it was. So yeah, very unlucky not to catch that spin. Just in front of him, Nathan Clark did a fantastic job of catching it. So it's just that sort of split second of hesitation between those two drivers, I'd say, as Nathan's obviously got a lot of skill on dirt as well. So he's one of those drivers that has just got that affinity sometimes with a car that's a tiny bit slippery, and he just managed to catch that slide. Lockie just got a little bit unlucky with that one, sadly. So a bit of a shame there for Lachlan Urquio.
As he just jumps down into pit lane, he'll be going in to get a repair done or two, and then I'm sure he'll make his way back out onto track here, lap 38 of 120.
So a fair few drivers coming back into pit lane to top up on fuel and get some fresh boots on the car as well. So there's going to be a few repair jobs as well, unfortunately. A couple of them have got some damage. Brent Hobbs at the moment, he has a pretty clean looking car, so he's going to get some fresh boots put on that and a little bit of fuel in there. So he's going to be looking at trying to get towards the end. And I think Matty Ray as well, he came in as well. So watch out for those later in the race. If we get a long green period here, they could be in a fairly decent sitting position. So we've seen Matty Ray's not too bad at the old fuel saving game. So watch out for him. If this remains green, he could be in with a bit of a shout.
Indeed. Of course, coming off a race win as well, Matty Ray, so he will be feeling fairly enthusiastic about his opportunities tonight, and very, very gracious man in victory as well. So a very popular winner on our social media channels as well. Plenty of love shown for Matty Ray for his win last week.
Yeah, one of those popular wins you get, and it's always nice to have some of the veteran drivers getting a win, and it's it's the drivers that are competing week in, week out, and they're not winning every single race, but when they get a win, it's always a feel-good moment. So not a nice feel-good moment for the Xfinity series, that one. But one man that is no stranger to winning is up at the front at the moment. I'd say two men that are no stranger to winning, and that's Josh Micklemore and Andrew Dyson. Andrew Dyson, of course, one of the newer comers to the oval scene, and he has been absolutely setting it ablaze. Josh Micklemore, a lot of experience on the ovals, and he is going to be wanting to get a win tonight to cap off his season as strong as possible, and he's doing everything he can to do that. So good results from him. The very fast, hungry, fast-charging Ryan Jones just in behind him. Of course, a few victories under his belt. Edward Foster trying for his first win in the trucks this season. It's strange to say when he is the championship leader, but he has not got any wins this season, so he would ideally love to get a victory tonight. And Jason Martin sitting there as well. Obviously, again, a man that is no stranger to the top of the podium here, the top step, and getting into victory lane. He is going to be desperate for that one and take a truck title as well.
Yeah, this continues to play into Josh Micklemore's hands at the moment, and Andrew Dyson's, as we are about to go green again. They'll be happy, to be honest, if there's another caution very shortly hereafter. It helps them manage their race to that midpoint. As we go green, Micklemore gets another cracking start. He's on a brilliant form and has done a great job there to get away from Andrew Dyson early on the restart. Edward Foster moves back up into third. It sounds like we've got some sliding in the background there. Nothing untoward at this point in time as Edward Foster gets down under Dyson this time. Ryan Jones looks to go with him on that low line, instead choosing then to move up to the high line as Foster closes out P2. He'll be wanting to execute here and get himself up into the lead of this race on much fresher rubber than Josh Micklemore. So how will this pan out? You can see there as well, Mirko Dornak having a ripping race so far tonight. He's up on the back of Jason Martin in the race for 5th position. And he's doing a good job there as well. He's got Dyson down under, my apologies, Stephen Williams down underneath him, and Luke Trahere keeping company as well. So there's battles developing right throughout the field here on what has been a very, very competitive restart.
Foster trying to get around the outside. He's going to come down now and try and get a little bit of a better run off the corner, then try and get underneath Micklemore. I'd say he's going to try and use that little bit of extra grip just to get under Josh Micklemore, just get himself up into the lead of the race if he can. But Micklemore is really putting the pressure on, doing a great job of defending on those much older tyres. Some 20 laps between those tyres, 22 laps I think it is to be precise. So very, very different life stages in those tyres, but they're going to start plateauing a little bit, so there's not going to be as big a pace advantage, but generally you're going to want fresher tyres than you are older tyres when you're racing.
There's Martin getting the move done here on Ryan Jones. Jones just running a little wider there, and Martin able to duck down on the inside. He's going to close that out as he defends down on that low line, and he will move up now and try and chase down Andrew Dyson for third. Mirko Dornak looking like he wants to get involved in this action as well, as he's up onto the back of Ryan Jones. In the background there's Steve Williams, Luke Trahere trying to make their way as well, so there's plenty going on here. This is in the battle for 6th through 8th. Biggest mover so far tonight, Noddy Tompkins. He's up 18 positions at the moment. He's just dropped a position there to Ruben Phelps, as Phelps, he tries to press for his claim back up into the top 10. He's currently running in 13th behind Michael Skurlock. All these drivers on fresh rubber, so trying to make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, Noddy Tompkins just going to want to try and keep the car nice and sort of safe and just keeping it out of trouble at the moment, and he's doing a great job of that, just running the car at a decent pace as it stands. Jason Martin now putting a little bit of a move on Dyson. He's trying his best to do the up and under right here. He's really putting the pressure on for P3 at the moment. This is giving Ryan Jones the opportunity to start catching up. Remember, Ryan Jones is also one of those cars that hasn't pitted yet. He's on those very old tyres, so he's still showing good pace despite being on that much older rubber. But Martin is starting to press as much as he can. And then, as you said, Mirko Dornak having a really good run tonight. He is really pushing his way up the field and got some good pace in that truck. So he's trying to get his way up into that top 5 at the moment. He's putting a little bit of pressure on the back of Ryan with Stevie Dubb, Stephen Williams there as well, and Luke Trahere. So watch out for those cars. Jason Martin getting a little bit of a better drive off the corner. He's going to try and get underneath Dyson here. Will he manage to make it stick? He's going to try his best. He goes for that slight dive. He holds it. Dyson will get a little bit of a better run off the top of the corner here as they go across the dog leg, but of course Jason Martin gets a slightly shorter version of the track. Martin will have a little bit more grip in the corner, and he should be able to make this move, and he does.
Just shows you there, I mean, the tyre life between those two cars. Dyson on much older rubber here, and with that plateau he's still very competitive up against the fresh rubber on the 21 Mitch Motorsport entry, so he'll be wanting to keep pushing this here. He'll need to stop around about lap 60 or so, and he'll be hoping to do so under caution. Otherwise he's going to have to hold out for as long as he can, as Martin here tries to get the move done again. Ryan Jones looking to get involved in this battle. Mirko Dornak as well just on the back here. There's a big pack developing here, in fact. So this battle between Martin and Dyson has allowed about half a dozen drivers to close up on the back of this battle for 3rd and 4th position at the moment. So watch out for this one. It's going to get a little bit curly if it stays green flag, which we hope Foster and Mickelmore have checked out at the front. Mickelmore doing a great job. He is half a second up on Edward Foster despite those older tyres too, so he's doing a fantastic job at the front of this race. But we'll keep an eye on this pack here. You can see that the pack that's developed, Dave Douglas asking where the fiddler is. He is on the back of this pack, Michael Skurlock, in this huge chain of cars. It's a little bit like the chain at a Welsh sheep station. This one, just a big long chain of people with a Welshman at the end of it.
Yeah, he is doing his best to put the pressure on the backs of all of these cars at the moment, and he will definitely be doing that. He's going to be chasing them down and trying his best to rub past them as quick as possible. Martin has started to check out a little bit from Dyson at the moment up the front. He's doing a good job. You can just see Dyson and Jones starting to have a little bit of a battle now as well. But Mickelmore is doing a good job at the front. He's still got about a half a second lead over Foster. Foster not really catching him. Of course, one of the things that these cautions are going to do is it's going to help with fuel mileage for those guys that stayed out. They'll be able to go a little bit longer than they would have before. So we are expecting them to come in around about the, I think it was about the 65 to 80 mark, something around there. So they'll probably go to about lap 90 maybe on fuel, sort of 80 to 90 on fuel with those cautions that we've had. So we'll see how they can progress through this race now. Foster will have a little bit less to worry about though, because he'll have a little bit more fuel on board, same as Jason Martin, who just set a very quick lap. Speaking of quick laps, Skurlock now just snatches that away. So Skurlock and Martin at the moment both setting fast times on the track, so they are really having a good battle out there.
Tell you what, Mirko here, he's looking a little bit impatient. He's got some pace on Jones, and he's wanting to get the job done here. Sort of saying, Jonesy, you've had your turn, mate, get out of the way and let me have a go because you're holding me up. So the drive here from Mirko is good. Steve Williams the same. So this battle here, Dyson's probably just struggling a little bit on those old tyres now. You can see it, there's fresh rubber coming to the front. Williams here getting a move done down underneath Mirko. Not able to get there. He's up into the wall, Mirko. That's unfortunate. He's been having a really strong run. He's just grabbed the line there, unfortunately, so he's going to have to resurrect his night from there. He's still back onto the back of the pack, although he's lost a lot of pace. So we'll keep an eye on his progress as he gets back through the field. This has allowed Jones and Dyson to continue their battle for fourth position at the moment. Carl, as you said, Jason Martin has checked out. He's in pursuit of Edward Foster, just 8 tenths behind him now. Has championship implications, of course, so he'll be wanting to get back in front.
Yeah, he's going to be trying his best at the moment, and got to say, Josh Mickelmore at the moment is setting some really good times. He's one of the fastest drivers out there still on those old tyres, and that just shows how much the tyre drop-off is not really affecting. Bit of a check-up there with one of the lapped cars that just came through turn number 2. There would have been a few clenches, I think, with that one. A few people there definitely gritting their teeth as they went through that corner, but everybody's through nice and cleanly. But yeah, at the moment, you know, Mickelmore is really holding that gap. He's actually improved the gap over Foster, so it's 0.7 of a second now. So Mickelmore is pulling away a little bit on Foster. He will have a little bit of a lighter fuel load, of course, but those tyres are going to be very old indeed.
Yeah, indeed. He's worked wonders again. His restarts for me have been the most impressive part of his form of late. He just gets away. It doesn't matter the age of the tyre. He just manages to do the old survivor on just about everyone around him, outwit, outlast and outplay them on every restart. Last time around, held it up around the corner, dropped the hammer on the straight and still managed to just pull away from everyone else who's jogging on the spot. So that's helped him, but a very impressive drive so far tonight from Josh Mickelmore.
Yeah, there's no denying Mickelmore is a quick driver. He's one of those drivers that is very good on his tyres. He's just very good over a long stint and very quick when he needs to be as well. Not always the best of luck, but when his luck goes his way, it goes very, very well, often is the case. Dyson's managing to pull out a little bit of a gap from Jones now, so that battle has just eased off a little bit, but behind Jones at the moment, we have got a great battle going on with Stephen Williams, Luke Trahere, Dwayne Priest, Michael Skurlock, Kay Donnelly, Nathan Clark. So quite a few cars involved in that little battle, and it looks like Kay Donnelly's going to try and make a move on Skurley at the moment. Can't quite make it stick, but those two are starting to get a little bit racy, and I think Skurley's noticed it. So he's taking a slightly different line here, just trying to catch up to Dwayne Priest at the moment. So these guys are having a nice little fight as it stands.
Yeah, you can see there that the Trahere as well, just managing. Talk about tyre management. That is one of his tools in his tool bag. He likes the long green flag runs, Trahere, because he does try to manage the tyres for that last segment of the race. So he might be doing a little bit of that here as Donnelly still tries to get one past Michael Skurlock, but Skurley's just opened the gap a little bit on him there, and he's now putting pressure on the back of Dwayne Priest. There's a big slide in front, and I think there's been a big incident there. Looks like it was Ryan Jones. Was it Ryan Jones?
Andrew Dyson and Ryan Jones getting into each other by the looks of things. No, sorry, Stephen Williams, I think, actually. Stevie Dubb, sorry. Stephen Williams and Ryan Jones just making contact into turn number 1. So just got into each other. Not a huge amount of damage on Ryan Jones's truck, so that's some good news for him, but it's not going to help him out for tonight. Just gets turned there, up into the fence, hits the side pretty hard, but not the front, so that will help him out. This is going to be the perfect stop for everybody right now. We're going to see everybody coming into pit lane, I would say, chucking fuel in, getting some fresh tyres, getting to the end of this race.
Unfortunately there for Jonesy as well. Just looks like Williams just went straight ahead a little bit there, just couldn't quite get the car to turn in, and or the truck to turn in, and just got up into the back of Jonesy. So Trev's jumped in and said, I'm assuming Mr. Smooth, they called him, he's referring to Josh, so that certainly reflects here on the way he looks after the tyres on the sim as well, Trev. So he's doing a great job so far, and this has worked out extraordinarily well for him. Lap 65, he can green flag run to the end here without any troubles whatsoever, and given how he managed his tyres right throughout, you'd have to figure him from here to probably end up at this point in time as the leader of the race. So you've got Martin there, a couple stayed out, no doubt, just to get a lead lap under their belt, but yeah, the guys there doing a good job throughout that stint to get themselves to here.
And Skurlock just got a flying stop there. So Skurlock was absolutely superb in that stop, stationary for a little bit of a shorter time. Just wondering if he came in a little bit later than some of those other guys, so I think he had a bit more fuel on board, so he didn't have to take quite as much fuel as some of the others. And I'm wondering, I'm just going to have a little bit of a look back at that one, and he's only taken right side. So Skurley rolling the dice.
And probably figuring that there'll be another caution period at least during the remainder of the race, so rolling the dice a little bit on that and allowing him to manage those tyres through that part of the race. Of course, taking them much more recently as well, as you mentioned, than the drivers around him. So a little bit of a gamble here. I like it from Skurlock. He had to get out of that pack. He's got a clean truck, and there's every chance here he can be competitive. So we know how quick he can be. And he's done a good roll of the dice here, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting little strategy from Skurley. It's whether he can actually keep the keep it on the track, of course, but it's going to be how much the inside tyres affect him. Being that the tyre wear hasn't been so noticeable tonight, this may work out absolutely perfectly for Skurley.
Well, if anyone can do it, Skurlock can. He's one of the more skilled drivers out there as well. He'll tell you it's all luck, but I don't believe that. I think there's a fair amount of strategy in it. And as I said, I like the way he's been managing his races of late. And I think that is the impact from the step up from the DPR boys, potentially Andrew Dyson and people like that. And it's just stepped it up again a little bit further here in a lot of these ANZCAR races. So I like it, and let's see how Skirley goes on the front row of the grid. He won't be left guessing on the restart here with Josh Mickelmore. Edward Foster's right behind, so we've got fresh tyres everywhere here. It is a tyre dealer's dream. All these trucks on 4 new rubber except for Michael Skurlock. So let's see how he fares on the restart.
Just got to hold that truck and get it away cleanly. That's the bit for Skirley. And you can see he's just doing a little bit of a mock start down the straight, just trying to get an idea of how the truck feels there. So just getting a little bit of an idea of how it's going to drive on this restart, trying to get a bit of a picture for himself so he doesn't spin it up. That's what he's going to hope he doesn't do. Again, Mickelmore launches it on the exit of that curb and gets away nicely. Foster gets a very good run on the low line. You can see Skurlock just a little bit slower, and that's caused Jason Martin to get held up behind him. That's going to give Andrew Dyson the opportunity to get down the inside. Skurlock, Dyson side by side at the moment. You can see Mickelmore has got the lead still. Foster is trying his best to get up there. Foster's trying to make a move early. Can't quite do it. Dyson and Skurlock very close together in the background. Those two are side by side. Oh, Josh Mickelmore makes a bit of a mistake on the exit of turn number 4. He loses the rear end. He gets a big tank slapper. That's going to drop him back the field. Unfortunate there for Mickelmore. Foster is going to take the lead. Dyson gets through as well.
The irony of it, the new tyres causing the issue with the cold start that he has to do on them, and able to manage tyres that were well and truly past their best. So Mickelmore's got some work to do here. Good news is his teammate Jason Martin is right behind him, and so they will be able to work together a little bit here to put pressure on Andrew Dyson. Michael Skurlock looks like after some initial issues just getting traction there, he's managed to get the 350 sorted, and it's back on the back of Jason Martin as well. Foster checked out. There's a slide in the background. We've got a big caution in the background as well.
Dwayne Priest, I think, from the looks of it, has gone round. Nathan Clark and Dwayne Priest, I think. Oh, no, it was the A3. So Matty Raymond, Dwayne Priest, and Nathan Clark getting involved in that one. Looks like Dwayne's just got a little bit loose on the entry there. Just got caught up with Matty Ray. Nathan Clark, I think, getting caught up with that one as well. So I think Nathan Clark got caught up with that one. A little bit of a look. He did. Not too much damage, though, so he got relatively scot-free. Ben Vickers got caught up pretty heavily in that one as well, unfortunately.
Foster will be spewing. He got away to a really good restart there. Managed to capitalise on that uncommon error from Josh Mickelmore there. Managed to capitalise and get a good gap. So did Daiso. And there comes the caution. And means that he'll get some reprieve. Mickelmore will want to get a good restart here and put the pressure on Foster straight away. This will play out a little well for Skirley as well with that 2-tyre pairing that he took at the pit stop. So we'll see how this plays from here. Jason Martin currently in 4th. Just a highlight as well, Ruben Phelps. Let's jump on board with Ruben. Up 20 positions. I make it sound like this is something that's unique or unusual, but Ruben does this week in, week out. Manages his race really well and just has snuck himself up into P8 from the rear of the grid.
Yeah, he's done a great job working his way up there. 20 positions gained. He's 1 position ahead of Matty Ray at the moment. We said watch out for Matty Ray later in this race. He's got 19 positions gained in this one. So it is those two are going to be fighting it out for the most positions gained at the moment, and seeing what they can do for the championship as well, because they are in with a shout of getting inside the top 10 of the championship, and they're going to want to try and lock themselves in with that one.
Just quickly, Carl, plenty of questions in the chat around the championship and who's involved. We're over halfway through here. We've got still a lap to go under caution. Double D's asking if Ed's involved in the potential win for the championship. Trev's doing his maths on the run, letting us know that Martin needs to finish in front of Foster if he's going to take out the series win. Where in your mind are we at the moment in terms of championships? How's this one looking like it's going to unfold?
At the moment, it's looking good for Foster. He needs to finish ahead of Martin, and it's going to be... It's almost down to bonus points. It's very, very close. in the contention at the moment. Micklemore, of course, he effectively needs Foster and Martin to not finish at all, and even so, with the amount of DNFs we have at the moment, we've got cars. I think we've only got 21 cars running now, so they'll finish relatively high up. But I think if Foster can get this win and Martin finishes where he finishes, I think Foster will just be very close. So it's it's going to be very close. It is very, very small numbers between Martin and Foster right now. It's all going to be a question of where Martin finishes from here. Martin will want to finish right on the back of Foster, preferably even lead a lap just to get a bonus point or something like that, because he needs every little bit of help he can get. Same with Foster though, but he is in that position. He's going to get a bonus point for leading this race. He is currently leading the race, so Foster is looking good at the moment. He's doing all he can to get this title. You got to work out for Martin.
I don't think you could have been sitting on the fence harder if you tried there, Carl. Almost really slightly just close to maybe taking out the championship. So we'll see how it all rolls out. You have to check in with the socials afterwards. We'll announce it. And Daiso here just edging slightly in front of Foster. He'll be waiting. He'll be aware of that before he drops the hammer. And he is... Go. And we're off and running again. Daiso gets a really good run on the outside, goes with Foster. So does Josh Micklemore, resuming status quo for him with a solid restart, even when he's not the one controlling the field. Daiso's gone with Foster. Foster ducks right down to the inside to get on the defensive. And Daiso tries to go with him. It is going to be that Josh Micklemore slots into third in front of Jason Martin. Michael Skurlock got a good restart as well. So did Ruben Phelps. He's popped up ahead of Steve Williams, with Kate Donnelly and Matty Ray in the top 10, with Luke Trahere rounding it out. Trahare's just on the inside of Matty Ray. There's going to be a change for position back there, but we'll stick with the leaders at the moment. It's not been quite as satisfying a restart for Foster, albeit they are going. There is a gap now opening up between the Mitch Motorsport boys of Josh Micklemore, Jason Martin, as Foster and Dyson set out to take on the lead of this race.
And Jason Martin just getting underneath Josh Micklemore there. He's side by side, the two teammates very close together, but Martin just getting ahead of Micklemore now. And see Skurlock just behind them as well. He's trying his best to get up there. But Foster is trying to run away with it. This is good close racing up the front. We've got great racing throughout the pack at the moment. They are so close at the moment. It is the time where you're sort of almost biting your nails when you're racing that close with each other. Matty Ray and Luke Trahere at the moment, we're just watching, very close together with those two. They were just almost touching panels there. There was a cigarette paper between those two. But at the moment, Foster is running away like a grease whippet. He is really getting some speed on him and getting a bit of a gap over Andrew Dyson. Importantly, Dyson now has Jason Martin all over the back of him, so Jason Martin's going to want to try and make up that position. Dyson is the one that's possibly hurting him for the overall championship as it stands.
Yeah, for those of you adoring Mirko Dortner fans back in the booth, he's almost made his way back up into the top 10 after that earlier incident. He's harassing the back of Luke Trahere, so we'll keep an eye on that battle as well, as Micklemore here puts pressure on Martin, who equally is doing the same to Andrew Dyson. Skirley's jogging on the spot in the background with Steve Williams waiting patiently behind him as well. So this is where the battle's at. This is what happened with Josh Micklemore as well. Micklemore was able to build a gap because there was a battle between Martin and Dyson earlier on in the race. Edward Foster being the benefactor of this now, but the difference is Dyson was on old tyres back then. He's not now, so he's going to be able to keep pace with Martin here. So more of a challenge for the Mitch Motorsport boys to make their way past Andrew Dyson to start putting the pressure and closing that gap to Ed Foster.
A little bit further down the field, Ruben Phelps is on an absolute charge. He's just got up into P7, having a bit of a battle with Kay Donnelly at the moment. Those two are side by side, door to door as it stands. Very close racing between the 06 and the 40. So those two are really pushing hard, and that's giving Manny Raymond the chance to catch up there. So the biggest gainer of the night award is still at risk of being lost by those two. They're still trying their best to see who can gain the most positions in this race, and giving a great show as it stands. As Kate Donnelly gets through, it looks like Phelps is just going to have to jump up there. He does a big block there on Raymond. Meanwhile, up the front, we've got Martin putting a move on Andrew Dyson. They're going to be side by side coming out the corner. Dyson is on the outside, Martin on the inside. Martin doesn't quite have the car there. He's going to make a late braking move here on Dyson. Will it be late enough? Not quite, but this will give him a good run across the dogleg as Dyson gets so close to the wall. Nothing between himself and the wall there. That was brave stuff from Andrew Dyson there. Keeping his foot in when he was that close to the wall. That was incredibly close.
Great driving from Dyson there. It's paid off for him. He retains that position at the moment. Josh Micklemore's just dropped off ever so slightly off the back of his teammate Jason Martin. Martin's going to have to reassess and go again here to try and make the move on Andrew Dyson up into second place. The gap to the leader now half a second, nearly 6/10 in fact, to Edward Foster. So this is still helping him a little bit as these guys battle for second position. Schmickelmore's got Michael Skurlock who's looking to jump up onto the back of him, but Martin again able to get onto the front foot here, try and take out second position from Andrew Dyson. As Ryan Jones is back up into 15th place. He's making a good recovery after his earlier incident. As you can see Mickelmore there diving down to the low line as well, so he's looking to make a move when he can on his teammate to get back up into third position. No team orders there whatsoever. Those still be racing for position, which is one of the things we've loved all season. As you can see there, Mitch Motorsport boys, Martin and Mickelmore getting very close indeed. Josh has got some pace again as he gets right up on the back of Jason there. He's going to look to make the move. You figure he'll try and dive down underneath him, get the cut across if he can. Martin's up to that though, of course. Does the same thing, follows Dyson. And they just maintaining the gap to the leader at the moment. Edward Foster still around that 6/10, just jumps up into 7/10 there, so gap is increasing slightly, in fact, out the front of the pack.
Yeah, this battle at the front is fascinating stuff. They're breaking away a tiny bit. Martin and Mickelmore are still battling away. We've still got that battle going on between Phelps and Donnelly at the moment. Phelps has managed to get back past Donnelly as it stands. Donnelly's trying to get back down the inside of Phelps as they go across the dogleg. Those two battling it out very hard at the moment and keeping it very close to each other. We can see on screen at the moment, all over the back of Dyson, this fight is very much going on. Michael Skurlock's keeping it up there in P5, so he's keeping the pace going despite being on some very old tyres for the left tyres. Those right tyres are a lot fresher though, so that's helping him out a little bit.
Indeed, just while we've got a quick gap, of course, we'll jump on board with Aidan Schultz. Schultz's birthday. Happy birthday, Schultz. I hope you're enjoying your night and where you're at, mate, and all the best for your birthday this year.
A very big happy birthday to him, and also to Danny G, of course, the admin of ANZCAR, one of the admins of ANZCAR, and one of the runners of the truck series. So a happy birthday to you as well.
As you can just see here, just quickly jumping back up to the front, Jason Martin right up now on Andrew Dyson. There's a tissue between them. You can chuck one over the top of all three of them at the moment, and some really good close racing here. Look at how close together they are. Not a skerrick of paint traded between them as Martin dives down to the inside now, trying to get the move done on Dyson. Just not quite far enough to do that as yet. But Dyson will be feeling the pressure now in the 041. And we've got a caution. We've got a caution on lap 89. And this is an interesting part of the race to have a caution come out. Just trying to assess who that was there, in fact. Doesn't look like we've lost any cars. We'll jump back and have a quick look.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I saw a car going slow on the infield.
Yeah, I think it might have been Aaron Wilton. In fact, he might have just had a solo spin there. Let's just have a quick look. Or either that or just because of how slow he's going down on the infield there. Maybe triggered the caution. Another one of these mystery cautions from iRacing that it throws up from time to time. So, a little disappointing there. It doesn't look like there's anything that's caused it. He's just come cruising around. He got real slow down on the apron and didn't even duck into pit lane. So a nothing caution. But what it has meant is that absolutely every man And his dog has jumped into pit lane. Will we see Skurlock do another one of his little trick stops here? And see how close they all are entering pit lane. The 21 there, literally inside the 41 on the lead in. So entry into pit lane, really important here. And Josh Mickelmore has decided to just gas and go. So he is out. And he regains the lead of the race. Martin taking a full set. Same with Foster. Dyson doing the same. Who's that? Luke Trahair, if you don't mind. He has just done the double tyres. He's moved up into second position. A big strategy call there from Trahair as he gets up into second position now. And if there's one thing we know about Luke Trahair, it's that he manages tyres well. So this might play out in his favour. He has decided to roll the dice, take the 2 tyres like his mate Skurley did earlier on. And it's paying dividends for him as he moves up into second for the restart.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting little run. I was just looking at that Wilton incident. It just looked like he was getting out the way, just lifting off to let the field past because it's so compressed at the moment, and he just got a little bit too slow maybe, and that's what brought out the caution. So unfortunate, really. It's one of those just strange iRacing moments where it's just like, oh, no, we'll get a caution come out for you.
So, could this be call of the year from Luke Trahair or from Josh Mickelmore? Mickelmore just taking a gas and go at the last stop. Of course, we'd only done half a dozen laps or so since the last caution. So the tyres will be warm on Mickelmore's truck, which should assist him on the restart against those that took fresh tyres. So it's going to be about managing the restart. And if there's one thing that Josh has shown throughout the season, and I mentioned it half a dozen times tonight, and might as well mention it one more time, is how strong he's been on the restart. So this could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how he does on this restart. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. And we'll just see how he goes. But Foster is sitting in a good position at the moment on those fresh tyres. Luke, of course, he's got those fresh outside tyres, those right side tyres. Those inside tyres will be a little bit worn and a little bit warmer, so he's got to be a bit careful when he drops the loud pedal. But I'm sure he will be thinking of that one. Yeah, this is going to be a interesting restart, and the battle is on. We're going to have a 26 lap, 27 lap melee now to the end of this season. This is going to get very spicy, I think, Stuart.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple jumping into the chat there. RS14, I'm pretty sure that's Ed's brother saying Ed's looking good. Yes, he is indeed. No, Riley, there are no limit on the truck tyres. I think it's probably a matter of just keeping a warm set that's not very old. We haven't seen much of a difference here, but it is going to be Josh Mickelmore who drops the hammer early and gets away. Luke Trahair jogging on the spot a little bit, unfortunately, but he's going to close down and keep in second spot. Skurley's looking pacey as well. He's dropped down in front of Jason Martin in the background there. Trahair on the outside of Ed Foster. We've got 3 wide. Andrew Dyson, if you don't mind, decides to create his own lane and try and get things done, but he doesn't quite manage to hold it. No, he does indeed. Foster there moves up in front of Trahair to close out second place. Dyson, this is going to work for him on the outside. He's going to close that position out. Izzy and hold on. Move up into third. Oh, he gets real loose. Dyson with the drift. Keeps the boot into it. We love it. He gets it done. It's going to give Trahair the position potentially. Just as he struggled to drive there, as Foster gets into the back of Mickelmore as well. So it's all on here at the end. Dyson into the back of Foster. I'm going to run out of breath and blow a pooper valve.
Foster gets underneath Josh Mickelmore right here. They made a little bit of contact. Foster eased off there. Just let him get back into the rhythm of things. But now he's managed to take advantage of Mickelmore there. Foster's managed to get into the lead. Dyson again getting sideways. He catches Mickelmore. Mickelmore's gone round. There's a big accident there. Mickelmore turned with Dyson there, and the caution is out.
Huge implications there as Mickelmore disappears off the screen, if you don't mind, with that caution. Didn't actually even get to see where he ended up, but we'll jump back and have a quick look at that there. Really close at the front. The running was huge and just not able to quite cover all of it, with Dyson with the big drive around the outside as well on Trahair. Foster with a touch on Donnelly as well. So let's jump back and have a look, try and unwrap some of this.
Big damage to the front of Luke's car. Luke Trahair has got a huge amount of damage there. So that sort of, that was very strange. Ruben Phelps just getting very lucky there at the top as well. Ruben Phelps just working his way through, I believe. So Ruben's just like magicked his way through. It's like the parting of the sea for him right there. Jason Martin just managed to avoid all of that carnage as well, just keeping up in the high line and just avoided every little bit of that accident with that one. But just that contact with Dyson and Micklemore, and that is that for Micklemore. Unfortunately, a real shame. We saw a really strong race from Josh Micklemore tonight, and that just absolutely annihilated his car, sent it into a different realm, I think.
I'm just trying to establish what happened there. Did Daiso actually get up into Josh, or?
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm having a bit of a look at this one, so.
It kind of looks like Micklemore unfortunately got a little bit loose.
I'm wondering if maybe...
Might just go back we'll go back a little bit earlier than that and just have a quick look.
There's a bit of a packet loss issue. So I think there might be a bit of a server issue for...
well, because he didn't eject, he just disappeared off the screen. So
yeah,
it looks like maybe he suffered a dropout, and that's what's actually caused that to happen.
Yeah, because he's dropped off the server as well. So that is really, really unfortunate there. And it's sort of just almost, the car's just disappeared. It's almost like a blink and then that's it. So maybe those internet woes coming back to haunt Josh Micklemore there, unfortunately. That is a real shame because that was a strong, strong run tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate. We just saw it there, and Dave Douglas on top of it, of course. There's just a little touch there from Daiso as well, but whether that was because... there'd already been a dropout or something like that causing that, but there was a small touch there from Andrew Dyson, and as you called, Carl, Luke Traherne unfortunately jogging on the spot. Nothing he could do about it, just an innocent bystander in it. So it resumes. Daiso still up in second place with that caution, so he's going to have to try and battle away with a damaged truck. He only got, I say a little bit of damage, he got damage to the front of the truck there, but you can see it's not that bad. Most of the impact for him was in the rear of the truck, where you can see there as he rolls past, so he'll still be a little pacey here. He's going to have the ability to try and challenge for the win here. Ruben Phelps, as you say, managed to cut a path through there, as did Michael Skurlock. Jason Martin currently sitting in 5th. So championship-wise, this is playing out in Foster's favour. We've got 22 to go, and we'll be 21 to go as we get going, as Dave Douglas again just pointing out. So long as there's no motor damage, you should get away with it. Doesn't look like there is, so let's see what happens here on the restart.
Yeah, back to the restart. Foster is going to be dropping it away. Dyson on the outside. You've got Skurlock there and Ruben Phelps as well. He's working his way up there. Foster is just waiting. He's not dropping the hammer yet. Makes his move now. Gets a good start this time round for Foster. Jumps away from Dyson. Ruben Phelps is going to try and look down the inside of Dyson at the moment. Phelps is going to make the move. Skurlock on the outside there. Dyson just gets caught in the middle. 3 wide. Can't make it stick. It's going to be Phelps and Skurlock at the moment fighting, and I think it might be just Dyson just dropping down a little bit just because of the damage. So Dyson just dropping out of it. Unfortunately, I think his car is pretty much done for the night, sadly. But we've got a great battle on for second place at the moment. We've got Skurlock and Phelps fighting away. Phelps working his way from the backs for Skurlock there. Always fighting the Welsh fiddler, fiddling his way to the front once more and doing a great job of it. Oh, this battle is getting hot.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty involved here. Kate Donnelly's got some pace. Matty Ray, 23 positions up, if you don't mind. He has got some pace with Stephen Williams. They're currently fighting for 6 and 7. You can see them in the background there, but there is plenty on here. Phelpsy all over the back of Michael Skurlock, trying to make things happen as 2 wide. Donnelly and Martin go through. Looks like Donnelly potentially going to get the move done here on Jason Martin. Not quite able to close it down. They chase down onto the low section. You can see Matty Ray there in the background as well. So this pack's going to extend itself and going to get themselves up into the battle here for a podium position. As Dave Douglas just jumps in and says it's a good debut for the ANZAC race team. A little bit of a play on words there for Dave Douglas, but ANZAC race team a good start here for Phelpsy up into third position. Skurlock just opening the gap a little bit now, be trying to chase down Edward Foster at the front of this battle, and Jason Martin joining in as well. He's managed to open a gap on Cade Donnelly.
Yeah, Martin's all of a sudden just got his pace back in, he's got his eye back in the game, and he's starting to chase down Ruben Phelps a little bit. So the battle is back on at the front. Who is going to get this one? Donnelly is desperately trying to get up there as well. Donnelly is very hungry, very fast charger. Got Raymond as well. Don't discount Matty Ray and Stephen Williams as well. We know that Stephen Williams is always quick and always lurking and always capable of working his way up there. There's 16 laps to go now. Not much longer in this race, but Foster has got a good lead over Skirley of around about 0.8 of a second. But then the battle is going to be Ruben Phelps and Jason Martin at the moment. Cade Donnelly's really catching it up there, and he's putting pressure on Martin as it stands.
Yeah, he is indeed. So Jason will know what he's got to do here. So he's going to fight with Phelpsy. Same tyre strategy here for these two. In fact, all of our leaders on the same tyre strategy now. So the battle at the moment is for third. Skurlock's checked out a little bit. 0.6 up the road, and of course Edward Foster full second ahead of Michael Skurlock at the lead of this race. So it's playing out well for Foster at the moment. He's got work to do. 15 laps to go here. He's going to have to keep it clean. He'll be hoping for no more caution periods. We've had 7 tonight. They've fallen at the right times for the leaders of the pack, and he'll be wanting to make sure that that was the last one as he gets a good lead here. Michael Skurlock in second, not really able to close the gap at the moment, but Jason Martin all over the back of the ANZAC Esports team entry of Ruben Phelps. Cade Donnelly is joining in with this battle. Matty Ray, we know he managed tyres really well in the Xfinity Series race. What's he got left in the tank to give tonight? Can he challenge for a top 3 position? Or will it be Phelpsy who can hold it out here? Martin's just dropped off a little bit again, so it's a bit of a yo-yo battle at the moment for third position. This will help Skurlock if you're liking that going on in the background.
Of course, Martin's in an unfavourable position of having to defend and fight as well. So he's fighting Ruben Phelps and he's defending against Cade Donnelly at the moment, so he's having to do both of those actions at the same time. Martin would love it if Matty Ray would get onto the back of Cade at the moment and start putting pressure on him, but he's just sitting off a little bit. Cade Donnelly is putting the pressure on Martin, though. He's getting very close to him mid-corner. He's really going for the lunges at the moment. That's going to mean Martin's going to have to glance up into the mirror, keep an eye on the car behind him, and that can distract you a little bit. But when you're fighting so hard at the front like these two are, you sort of sometimes forget to look in the mirror, and that can sometimes cause an accident. Martin runs a little bit wide this time. Donnelly's trying to get his nose down underneath, of course. Martin will be using his spotter, listening to that, waiting to hear if Donnelly gets his nose under there, trying his best to keep that truck there. Donnelly this time round again just gets underneath Martin. Very close between these two. Donnelly looks like he's got maybe a little bit more pace at the moment, but Martin is just positioning that car perfectly. Phelps is doing a good job on the defensive as well. Really good racing here for third position. Who is going to take it out? This is a absolute melee.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay focused on this battle at the front. I can tell it's still Edward Foster a second out. Skirley's nearly built a second over these guys, so if it stays green with 10 to go, it is going to be a battle for third place at this point in time. Cade Donnelly's looking for a way around Jason Martin. He's not quite able to find anywhere. The gap from Donnelly back to Matty Ray has stabilised as well at around 4/10. So really here, this is where the battle is at for the third position in this final race, Season 221 of the ANZCAR Truck Series on FGM ANZCAR. So we could have asked for a better finale to this series. It's had everything so far. And how is it going to pan out? With Foster in the lead, Skurlock in second, Ruben Phelps defending hard against Jason Martin. Martin, of course, has his own worries with Cade Donnelly all over the back of him as well.
Yeah, this is really a key battle right here, and this can be the difference between championship and not for Martin. With Kay Donnelly putting on that pressure, Kay Donnelly could earn himself a bit of a pat on the back from Foster if he can manage to get past Martin. I think that's going to help Foster's championship hopes out for sure. But Martin is really putting the defence, and he does not want to drop back another position. He is really putting the pressure on, and he is sticking it there as much as he can. We know Martin is quick. We know he has got that skill to run in a pack, and he has done it so many times. Phelps, of course, one of the newer drivers to ANZCAR, he has been proving himself and proved himself so many times, and he has been one of those stars that's come up through the ranks. Due for a victory sometime soon, you've got to say, doing a great job with the defence.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing a brilliant job here. Jason Martin, one of the most experienced of the drivers in ANZCAR in this series, and in this car as well, or in the truck. He's a very, very experienced campaigner there. Oh, as Donnelly just checks up a little bit just to avoid, it looks like Martin just lost a little bit of drive there in the corner, and Donnelly did a good job just to check up and not end up in the tray of the 21 as the battle here rages on. We've got nearly 5 to go. It'll be 5 to go as Edward Foster crosses the start-finish line here. He's got 5 laps left to do everything he can to try and make sure he secures the championship. Jason Martin, our other contender, currently battling away. He wants to get up into third to do everything he can. So let's see how we go.
This is so close and so critical. 4 laps to go right here. Foster has got a nice bit of a gap in front of Skirley. Skirley's got a nice bit of breathing room as well. Ruben Phelps is the fly in the ointment for Jason Martin at the moment. Donnelly is really pressuring Martin as well. Will Donnelly try for a last moment lunge? And he is looking like he's trying for it. He's desperate to get that position. There is racing throughout the field. These guys don't care about championships. They want to get positions. That's their race. They don't mind whoever becomes the champion is not their concern. They want to get a good finish to their season and a good finish to their race. 3 laps to go now. Ruben Phelps has got Martin all over the back of him. Donnelly's just dropped off a tiny bit here. Martin's got a little bit of a run on Phelps at the moment, but not quite enough. They are pretty much nose to tail.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking for any which way he can to get around here, Jason Martin. He's just not able to find a way through. To jump on board here with Martin. He's just looking to see where he can go. He's going to try down the inside here. He's not quite got the exit that he needs as we've got 2 to go here. 2 to go. Who's going to get it done? A bit of a squiggle there from Phelpsy up in front of him. Didn't lead to much for him though. Not able to get it done. Kate Donnelly's jumped onto the back here. He's got a bit of a run on Martin down on the low line. We've got some lap traffic involved as well, just to make things a little more difficult for these guys. They do the right thing, stay high in the line, get out of the way. And that's got Donnelly on the run. Donnelly's got a good run here down underneath Jason Martin. We've got 1 lap to go here. Edward Foster's taken the white flag. It's the final lap. Can Donnelly get the move done here? He had a run on Martin's, closed him out. Not quite able to get the job done there. Martin retains it. That's opened up the door for Matty Ray, who's going to put pressure on Kate Donnelly here. This is not over at all. It is the final lap of the race. Who's going to take it out?
Coming around the corner for the last time. He's going to see the checkered flag any moment now. So we'll jump on board with Foster for this one, but jump back to that battle soon. Phelps has managed to keep 3rd place there. Martin gets 4th. Donnelly in 5th. Matty Raymond 6th. Michael Skerlock 2nd, I should mention as well. 7th for Stevie Dubb. Nathan Clark finishes in 8th. Christopher Finley in 9th. And Brent Hobbs, a fantastic 10th position, gaining 20 positions in that race. Biggest gainer, though, is Ruben Phelps. 25 positions in that race. Very good, strong result for him.
What an unbelievable finish to this season. We're really not going to know who takes out the season here. But we figure with the drop round, there was some contention in the chat around the drop round and whether or not once the drop round's taken into account, if Foster might be in trouble. He's done everything he can here to make sure that it is the Natari Autosport 53 entry of Edward Foster that will be adorning the championship trophy. But there is the drop round to take into contention. And last time Ed was on the podium, he said that taking the drop round into account, he was nowhere near the top of the championship. So we'll have to wait and see. Jason Martin finished in 4th. The contender, unfortunately, Cade Donnelly not able to get the job done there, but a really strong finish in 5th. Michael Skurlock, that two-tyre strategy working really well for him, boosting him up into 2nd. So Foster, Skurlock and Phelps are your podium for this evening. We will have them into the broadcast booth in a few moments, so do stick around for that. In terms of sticking around, tomorrow night on FGM Cast, we do have the Ozpro Am Sim Series, and that is a wild card round, jumping into the Audi 90 Turbos and heading off to the Charlotte Roeville for a couple of sprint races there. So do tune in for that one. It's going to be one heck of a race. But we will drag the drivers in here and have a quick chat with them once they jump into the green room. Carl, moment of the night for you?
Oh, that's a tricky one, in all honesty. I'm gonna have to think on that one, because there are a few very key moments out there. I'm gonna actually go with Foster's restarts when he got the lead, when he actually went for the lead there and had that little bit of shoving with Micklemore, but sort of fell back a little bit and then got back the position. So I'm going to go with that one, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a few to look at. I'm just waiting on Michael Skurlock to jump into the green room so we can bring them in. What a drive from Ruben Phelps on his race team debut as well, to get up into 3rd place, 25 positions for me. That's the drive of the night, obviously outside of our top 3 with Foster, Skurlock as well. So a really good run. The battle there at the end, what sort of a finish could we have hoped for other than the one that we got here at the end of Season 2 Championship, as we'll just bring the drivers in now.
And Matty Ray getting a good finish as well, getting up 23 positions. So we'll start off with the 3rd place man, Ruben Phelps. What a drive! What a few positions you gained there, mate.
Yeah, just a few. It seems to be my fate most of the time. Start in the back and somehow work my way up, or I start the front. It's the other way around. So yeah, no, it was a good fun race. Took my time, just enjoyed it, and then managed to get myself in the track position, and then suddenly the whole leaders took each other out, and I found a big hole on the outside and everybody disappeared. So suddenly I was 2nd place, so it sort of shocked me.
Yeah, it's almost like the seas parted for you there.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. Usually I end up involved in everything.
Oh, look, sometimes we make our own luck, and you did some great overtakes tonight. You did some great jobs getting your way through the field. We saw you getting a couple of little punts here and there. The car wasn't exactly 100% clean there at the end, but it didn't seem to affect your speed very much.
Yeah, I don't know if I had damage or not, because I definitely didn't hit anything during the whole race. So if there was damage, then I was oblivious to it. But the last 25 laps, it felt like I had lost my brakes, because I was having a really hard time getting into turn 1, and I was just pushing straight up and wasn't slowing down. So it was pretty hard to fight off for positions at the end, but obviously I managed to pay off anyway. So there was a bit of luck on that one.
Congratulations there, great run, and good debut on the new team outing as well.
Yes, there's another wee new announcement coming up soon, when the next day or two, once we can make the change. But at the point, we're still building our new race cars, so the paint schemes and all sorts of stuff will be all ready to go soon.
We look forward to seeing them. So before I let you go, Mr. Ruben Phelps, the usual shout out and love to anyone tonight.
I got a shout out to Mum. I'm sure she's definitely watching. Shout out to Aiden for being a good teammate and sort of actually being sort of sitting with me as I've been painting my stuff up. So we've been pretty much cruising along for the last couple of days. Well, I don't know if it's about cruising along. One paint scheme took like 15 hours. So it's been a bit of a tired last few days, but no, it's been good. And obviously I'll shout out the team, but we'll make the announcement of the new name shortly.
No worries. Thank you so much, Ruben. We look forward to seeing the new paint scheme soon. Have yourself a good night.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Next up, we will jump up to the Welsh Dragon, working his way through the field with all of his might. Mr. Michael Skurlock, P2, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you back up here in the booth. Always a pleasure. How was that race from your point of view?
Bit of a wait and see job, to be honest. I thought, normally Phoenix, I love Phoenix, but tonight everyone was pretty even. The truck was pretty good, so it wasn't too tight or too loose, which makes it hard when everyone can drive it. Obviously, everyone's faster, so it's harder to do stuff. But I was just wait and see, what happened, and then it all happened. And then I managed to limp into second, so, just take what you get, really.
No, it was a good result from you. Obviously, you had a bit of a gamble with the two tyre strategy. How did that one go for you? Did you feel it paid off a bit for you?
Yeah, I think it would have been all right. If I had a bit longer, maybe, to sort of... I don't know, actually. I mean, I went from 10th, 13th or something like that into second, and then I think I dropped back to 5th, so... It worked to get me up a few spots, I guess. I don't reckon I might have been that far up if I didn't do it. And then another yellow came out and everyone went in. So, and give fair credit to Josh. He stayed out there for ages on one set of tyres and was somehow still in the lead. And I don't know what he was doing, but it sort of showed me that tyres weren't everything, because if he could stay out for half the race and still be in the front, then obviously just changing my rights with barely worn lefts should be good, and it was all right. The car turned pretty good, but it's still a little bit slower.
No, it worked out well in the end, you got to say. I mean, P2 is always... It's not the best position you can be in, of course, but, you're probably going to be happy to take that.
My second is the best, remember?
Second is the one that counts.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just fun, man. Fun and games. As long as I get through a race without crashing or damaged, slow, boring car, then I'm having a good time, mate. That's all that matters.
That's the main thing. Look, we love having you up here, Mr. Skurlock. It's great to see you. And as usual, shout out and love to all of your fans.
Yeah, out to the Skurlurking listeners, watchers. Been getting a few more on there lately. That's the Twitch thing, by the way. Well done to Ed. It was a good race, good win there at the end. I couldn't catch him. And thanks to you guys for putting it on, and the Bandits, and well done to Mirko. He was keeping it up there tonight. He was going well until, a little bit of lapse of concentration, but he's almost there. He's going to get a win at some point.
He'll get another win eventually. It will be another Mirko win from nowhere.
I'm backing him.
No, it'll be good to see. Thank you so much, Michael Skurlock. Next up, we will head to the race winner and 2021 Season 2 champion, Edward Foster.
Yes!
I wanted to make you wait a little bit for that one, right? Congratulations on the win and the championship.
Thank you very much.
Well, you did it. That was a very close finish.
Yeah, look, it was. I mean, I was never really sure about where we were at as far as the drop round went, and my maths is legendarily terrible. I've tried to calculate it in my head once before. In the last full truck season I did and got it wrong by about 20 points. So I didn't even bother this time. I knew that I really just had to try and win the race and finish ahead of Joshy and Jace if at all possible. So, yeah, just went out there and tried to do that. If you want to know anything about the race, you're going to have to ask me about specific examples, because it was all a bit of a blur and I'm struggling to remember a huge amount of it at the moment. There was just so much going on and so much going on through my head, trying to sort of work out how to get to the front and how to stay there. Obviously got a decent stint there in the lead. I was sort of went into that race almost sort of resigned to the fact that I wasn't going to get it just because of the drop round, and I was kind of went into it already sort of pre-disappointed because, I'd had such a good season as far as, top fives, top tens, average finish better than anyone, all of that. And I was going to be a bit disappointed if I came away without it. And I just did not consider the eventuality that I was going to win the race at all. So I'm as surprised as anybody else there, but equally very happy because I've been trying for a long time to win a truck series and I've finally got one.
Look, I can imagine. And taking it out with a victory as well, the first win of the season in the trucks, that must be a pretty happy feeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rare achievement to win a title without winning a race, but at the same time, it's a little bit sort of, everybody kind of takes pops at you for it. So, I mean, I only won the one, but it was a very even season and lots of different winners sort of spread out across it. So, come away with one. It kind of legitimizes it a little bit more, I suppose. And I guess Phoenix is, I don't think I've ever won at Phoenix. It's never been a track that's actually been that kind to me. Yeah, felt sort of hooked up. As Skirley mentioned, the tyre wear was really pretty good. I did consider taking two in the way that those guys did, and perhaps that would have even worked. But, in the end, it doesn't matter. The result is the result. And, regardless of the decisions I made through 2, 4 tyres, pit stops, whatever, we got there. So that's what matters.
And the thing I wanted to touch on actually is the consistency. We're talking just at the start of the show. I was looking at some of the old stats, and your average finish this season before coming into tonight was 4.4 over the last 12 races, which is a pretty decent achievement.
Well, the last full truck season I ran, it was 3.8, and I still lost the title on these drop rounds. So I really did want that to happen again. I was going to be gutted if it happened twice. But yeah, anyway, that's how it is. And yeah, it was a consistent season, even on the old road course, came away with a P2. And I mean, I really like the bright yellow look on this truck as well. So it's really cool to make that into a championship winner as well. So yeah, happy all round.
Doing the channel proud. Congratulations, Ed. Well done on the victory. Well done on taking out the championship. And before we let you go, shout and love to fans, everyone you want to have a shout out to, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, thanks to everybody who comes out and races this series and all of ANZCAR series, because without people continually showing up and running the races and running as well as they do and valuing it and caring about it and practicing it and putting their best foot forward, we haven't got a series. So it's a big thanks to all those guys who make the effort to come out and run every week, because they are the foundation upon which the entire thing is built. So you can't win a championship if there's no one there to beat, just running around on your own. So thanks to them first and foremost. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and obviously this series is run by Danny G. But yeah, thanks to the other admins as well who keep this whole show on the road. And of course, it's that our sponsors, Bridgestone Select Race Magazine, Ferguson Group Media, FGM Cast, Two Fat Blokes, and AJ Insurance Services as well. Really cool to deliver this championship for them, and the first championship for Natari as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's the first championship I've ever won in a team that I own, and that just gives it that little bit of extra dimension. So happy on all fronts, thrilled.
No, congratulations. A well-deserved victory. It's been a long time coming this season, getting the W next to your name, but absolutely well-deserved, and congratulations again on the championship. Great to see it up there, and congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
Stuart, it was down to the wire there. It was all to play for, and Foster just got it by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, well, I'm still just going back through all of the incidents throughout the race, remembering, of course, that huge drift from Andrew Dyson as well. There was the helicopter accident for Jackson Callow too, 7 cautions. So to get through cleanly there, a great drive for Ed Foster to take out the win, and from Skirley and Ruben Phelps as well. I'm very interested to see the debut of the team name and the liveries there as well for Phelpsy. So the guys there doing a great job, and it's been a fantastic season. There's been too much to happen during the season to remember any of the standouts themselves, but another successful season run, and one obviously echo the sentiments there of Ed in terms of the participation. Finishing out the season 35 strong on track, a really, really strong result, and credit to the series organisers who get all this stuff to happen. ANZCAR is a self-funded exercise, so all the races that they put on, the practice sessions and what have you, put on out of the pocket of the administrators. There's no money in it for them whatsoever, just so that everyone can have a good time out there running, and really good to see some really strong participation again as ANZCAR continues to be the leader of oval track racing in Australia, and this continues to show with the strength of this truck series. So well done to all involved. Of course, we're back with ANZCAR for the finale of the Thunder Series on Wednesday night. That is happening 7:45 here on FGM Ecast as well. So that series down to the wire, just like this one as well. So don't want to miss out on the end of that one there, with Hobbo challenging for the title there. So there's a number of drivers who can take out the win there. So do tune in and have a look at that race as we crown another winner. That's the first winner for that series this season. Excitingly, we know that series is coming back with a break as well. Same as the truck series. We're back in a couple of weeks with the trucks. But next Monday night, we've got a special event, Carl.
We do.
That's what I thought you would say. So next Monday night, we have a special event coming up. And you know what as well, Ed, while you're in the booth here, might just let us know a little bit of the history behind this one.
Yeah, so this one's going to be the Indy Motor Speedway, the Oval, using the old sort of 2008, 2010 era COT, what they called the Car of Tomorrow at the time. So this was the first version, I guess, of the current Cup car that we have now. But they hadn't put all the high downforce on them at this stage. So it's very low downforce, very high horsepower. I think it's around about 900 horsepower or something. And really sorts the men from the boys. So with the Brickyard 400 not continuing on the way that it historically has, and lots of people, myself included, really very, very fond of that track and that event, thought it'd be really good to take advantage of the night off and run a race there for run a Brickyard 400. So it is going to be not 400 miles, it's going to be 400 Ks, just because, everybody here has a job and they've got to get up the next morning. So that's a little bit long for during the week. So we're going to run a 400K race around there. Hopefully we get a nice big field show up. The car's free, so everybody's got it, and it'd be great to see everybody come out and have a run for that, because these special events just give us the opportunity to do something a little bit different. They're really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will be broadcasting that one as well next week. So we'll try and get some special guests in as well if they're not running. So we'll be back next Monday with that, but the truck series will return in a couple of weeks. Carl, as always, a big thank you to you for another season run and done here on FGM Ecast in the trucks. There's another one waiting on the other side, mate, so don't get too comfortable with a free Monday night for your livelihood and to do things that you enjoy outside of commentating on racing.
Yeah, you can't get too much freedom, unfortunately, but I possibly won't be here next Monday because I am having my wisdom teeth out. So, yes, unfortunately, I think I may be missing that one.
Well, it would be very interesting to get you on the call with your wisdom teeth out, or even throughout surgery. So we'll see if we can coordinate that with the dentist to see how you get on with all of that cotton in your mouth. But no, we do wish you good luck for that, and we will obviously catch you on Wednesday night. And to everyone who joined in, the chat was fantastic tonight. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow night from 7:45 for the Oz Pro Am Sim Series here on FGM Ecast, your E-Place for Pace. Thanks very much and good night.